the summer before I went away to school, so after high school, and I was going away to college, and I was talking to my mom, and she's, doing the parent freaking out thing about, how are we gonna know that you're safe, and worried about you and all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't have my mom calling me while I'm away at school. Like, I'm a grown up now. So I told her I'd figure out some way where she can know when she needs to start worrying about me. And that's kind of how I came up with the idea of Blue Light. It was originally, not going to be an iPhone app. When I came up with it, it was kind of before iPhones were really that big. So I wanted to create this way that people could let their friends and family know if they didn't get to a location or destination when they expected to. And I didn't want this notification sent all the time. I wanted it only to be if your plans didn't go according to plan. So essentially what Blue Light does is it sets a timer for however long you think it'll take to get to your location, and if you do not deactivate that timer, then somebody's notified with your GPS location and a personal message, whatever you decide to put on there. But if you do get to your location, you just deactivate this alert, and nobody has to know, and your life can stay private, and you can be independent and safe and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been building in the past year or so, and it launched in December of 2010. So it's doing really well. A lot of people seem to really like the idea, which is something that doesn't seem to happen that often, is that just the idea people like. We've had a couple hundred downloads, and the app's free. It isn't designed to make money. It's kind of like a nonprofit, just help people type of thing. And building it, I actually know absolutely nothing about tech whatsoever. I'm a psych major, so I met Nick Rosa from Sandbox Industries, and he liked the idea and invited me into Sandbox to build it internally. And so what we did was we found a developer that was able to do the coding and the iPhone app and everything, and it morphed from being a kind of a website type of deal, and then the iPhone came out and it was this really big thing. So we just decided we should make it into an app. When I originally met Nick Rosa, we just had a casual conversation, and then one day, you should come to the office and you should work here and build your idea. And I was like, oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, it's very idea oriented. So there's this big focus on trying to maintain creativity and launching something new and original, and they really encourage that here. Then we have all these little sections of all these different startups that we have, and there's all these people have ideas and they're bouncing them around, and sometimes it gets pretty hectic. There's some very loud days in the office where you're just trying to find a quiet little room, but it was definitely an experience that I'm really glad that I had, and I think I've been kind of spoiled as to seeing what the workplace is like, because here it's so casual and fun. We have toys and dogs running around, and I've almost been ruined if I ever want to have a corporate job or anything. So, Nick got his MBA at DePaul, so I actually met him at a networking event for DePaul's Coleman Entrepreneurship Center. It's called Blueprint. Okay. And I met him in, what would that have been? The fall or winter of 2009. Okay. And I just was talking to him at this event and told him about my idea, and then he ended up tracking me down through another student because neither of us had business cards or anything on it. So, we were able to get in touch and work things out from there. Cool. Definitely couldn't have done any of this without being at DePaul and having their networking community. And that's one thing I'm really grateful for, is if I went to any other school, none of this might have happened. That's true. Awesome. Right, so my main motivation was that I wanted a way to be able to be safe while still maintaining my privacy. Mm-hmm. I wanted to be able to go on dates and not have to tell my roommate the contact information of this first date that I'm going on or anything like that. I just wanted to be able to make my own choices, not have to check in with somebody, but at the same time, we do live in a world where you need to be safe, you need to take some safety precautions. So I kind of wanted to create a middle ground for that. Right now, mainly what I'm just doing is trying to talk to people about it. We're not trying to spend tons of money creating this big marketing campaign, but I am trying to reach out to a lot of the women networks, talk to them about this. A lot of the college campuses, their blue light phones are always worried about keeping their students safe. And a lot of young women professionals who have to travel for their work, they're really interested in this as a way to just let people know that they're safe when they're traveling or if they're living alone and things like that. So, and in terms of blue light, where I see it going in the future, I'm not sure how many additional features or how big I want to make it, just because I don't know how to program things on my own. I really am interested in possibly learning how to do all that, and from that point building it into something bigger. But right now it's just been a really good networking tool, and it was mainly just something I wanted to create to solve this problem that I was personally experiencing. And I'm just really proud that I was able to launch a working product with no type of tech background or anything, and make it come to life. But in terms of where I see it going, I think that's still up in the air a little bit. So building blue light, going to school, and then I've also been just doing some intern work at Sandbox, separate from blue light as well. It's been hectic. Definitely don't have as much free time as a lot of my peers, but I think that I do my best work when I'm under pressure, when I don't have time to procrastinate, because I'll take full advantage of that. So it's been really good for me, I think. I definitely learned how to get myself in focus mode and know when I need to get things done and be able to get them done, which is something that I feel like a lot of people don't learn while they're in school. It's kind of a lesson that you learn later on, but it's hard, but it's exciting. It's better than sitting in a dorm room being bored. But
True.
It's definitely fun. There's been ups and downs. When we first came up with blue light, it was kind of one of the first things like that. So figuring out how to market it and how to explain it to people was really hard at first. I don't know why we made it so hard, but we did. And it was just really difficult to explain this concept to somebody, that there's this notification thing, and it only happens when something doesn't go according to plan, and it's focused around privacy and safety. So that was probably the most difficult thing, and then of course working with developers when I'm not a developer, so when they try to explain a glitch or something like that, I'm like, well, can't you just fix it? And no, it doesn't work that way. So I definitely got a good experience working with people and trying to get through these obstacles and work past things and building something new and original. And I think that was probably one of the biggest ups, is just that it was a really big learning experience. Recently, I was invited to speak at a tech conference in California.
Awesome.
And kind of tell people about what blue light was and kind of just pitch the idea. And that was a really big thing. It was the first time I ever spoke to anything more than a classroom of 30 or 40 students. So I was terrified out of my mind. But that was the most recent thing, and again, just having tons of conversations with people, trying to meet people, trying to see where people think blue light should go, if they think that it should expand. I like hearing what other people's ideas are for blue light. Yeah. It was good. I met a lot of people. A lot of people seemed to really like the idea. Lots of requests for an Android app. I met one woman out there. She's a programmer. She's actually building something very similar for Android. So
okay.
I look forward to seeing that, because I actually have an Android phone. So that would be nice to be able to use it. And yeah, no, it was a really great experience. Where would I like to see blue light go? I think that really heavily depends on if I can figure out where I want to go with things. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm passionate about, what I want to spend the rest of my life doing. People keep telling me that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I'm not sure if I want to become a serial entrepreneur, if I want to try to get some corporate experience before making that decision. So I don't know, it all seems kind of up in the air, and I'm okay with that. I want to be able to be flexible and be able to pivot, and if I find something that I like, that I want to do, and I'm okay with letting blue light kind of just stay as blue light. You don't need to wait till you graduate. You'll realize really quickly whether or not starting your own business is something that you'll enjoy and that you're willing to work for. It is a lot of work, and it's hard to not go out with friends, or maybe you get a lower grade in the class because you're not doing all your homework, or you realize really quickly what you are and are not willing to sacrifice for your business idea. And so you should just start it as soon as you can. Decide whether or not it's something that you're passionate about, and if you decide that you are passionate about it, go out there and talk to people. Get involved with the tech community in your area, especially if you're a woman. There's tons of women that are willing to help you and wanting to talk to you about your idea. And just meeting people and interacting with people, somehow it just all seems to fall into place. But you definitely have to be proactive about it and put the effort in.
Well, Betsy, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
You too.
Thank you. We wish you continued success.